want to take this and take it into the strategy of a Washington fixated on Mr. Mueller. How are we supposed to do anything, Gideon Rose, if we're fixated on a redacted 400 pages?
We're not. And the answer is we haven't done much in foreign policy over the last couple of years, and we probably won't do much over the next couple of years. Essentially, we're withdrawing from the U.S. role of global leadership. We're not causing any wars, we're not causing depressions, but we're essentially just withdrawing, and that will ultimately fray the stability and security of the world order. And so as we're focused on our own domestic bread and circuses and soap operas, the rest of the world goes on about its pace and basically says, thank you very much for U.S. hegemony, we'll take over now.
OK, Gideon, has the Trump administration done U.S. foreign policy a few favors, though? It has pointed out a few glaring errors that have existed for a long time. Iraq, Afghanistan. There are things that have gone wrong, and the Trump administration has pointed those out. Once we get beyond the Trump era, will that kind of groupthink, that sort of change in the nature of foreign policy that has taken place over the last couple of years, actually have a positive effect?
In foreign policy, as in markets, there are many wrong answers. And just saying the course you just followed was wrong, here's my new course, doesn't make that new course right. It can often, and usually is, if it's by an untutored outsider, usually a course even worse than the one that was there in the first place. So the real challenge is we don't really have a foreign policy that's sustainable now. The president doesn't believe in the actual country's foreign policy, but he's the man in charge. So right now, essentially, the United States is dead in the water like a giant cruise ship. It has its actual foreign policy, like the structure of Notre Dame, but the inside's gutted, and no one knows what's going to happen next. The person who wins the 2020 election will determine the future of American foreign policy. Trump will have killed off the old American foreign policy, but the next one will be determined by the next guy who wins or gal who wins, whether it's Trump or somebody else.